Hello, Guardians. Welcome back to Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Deerigan. Alongside me, as always, is the one and only Heresy Slayer, Josh Finney.
Oh my God, Corey, we have so much to talk about tonight.
I know. I was not expecting this much to talk about tonight, considering the way the internet is feeling about the game. Which I guess it makes sense that there would be a lot to talk about since they're trying to build some hype to bring people back. But there's a lot. Three huge blog posts, Josh.
Yeah, I want to jump in on last week's TWAB real fast. There was some real good stuff in there, abilities wise, that I want to address real fast. And then we're gonna just jump on into the meat of this week, which is the Heresy Crucible post. Lore Corner will not be here tonight. Lore Corner is going to be discussing the lackluster end to this season, because I promised we would talk about it this week. I got it done. I got my Hell's Vengeance run halfway done, and before my dishwasher started to flood today. So bear with me. I'm having just uncannily bad luck the last few weeks. So 2025 is not starting out well. All right. Last week, we got the Sundern Doctrine dungeon announced. This is taking us back to Rolk's Pyramid Ship, coming out on February 7th. I did not have this on my bingo card going back to this pyramid. I thought for sure it was going to be in the Dreadnought. I'm not mad. I'm just a little disappointed.
Yeah,
I think it's a cool environment, but I'm kind of over fucking pyramids right now.
Yeah.
I think I've had enough of the pyramid architecture for a while. This kind of feels like, we kind of had a lot of stuff made already for, like, honestly, Dual Destiny was about as close as we were going to get to that, I feel. And I don't really want another one of these. Like, selfishly, if you do one on the Dreadnought, that means the Dreadnought kind of lives forever, which I'd really like. But you also have King's Fall when we make that argument. So, and at the same time, we have a Disciple already. This is a choice. This is a real choice. I don't know what you do for a story for this. Cool.
Yeah.
We know, I believe in the lore, there is still one Disciple kicking around out there, so we might deal with them here. But I can't help but feel that this is a really big missed opportunity to have a dungeon where you defeated Fikrul in it. Once and for all. It feels like a missed opportunity to deal with Fikrul, or to deal with Sivu Wrath, or some other big bad. Because this episode is supposed to close the door on the Light and Dark saga. And let me tell you something. The first two episodes really haven't felt very closey to me. I went on a rant about this on the last episode.
Yeah, I feel like,
it's bad. The story's not in a great place, and I don't feel like it's going to get better in the short term with how many people they laid off last year.
Yeah, I don't understand, like, what's going on. I know what's going on physically there, but, like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there wasn't, like, a plan almost. You know what I mean? I feel like they're kind of like putting the plane back together in the air type situation.
It feels a little hasty, I'm not going to lie, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm still very, very, very excited for this dungeon. I am always going to be excited for a dungeon. This is great. Yeah. I'm always going to be excited for a new dungeon. So regardless of my qualms about where it takes place, I will be excited for this. I will be there day one. I am, of course, going to do my run. I'm doing it on normal. I'm not doing contests this time around, simply because that is my partner's birthday weekend. So I will be logging on to do this Friday evening while she is still asleep after being at work, blowing through it, and then logging off for a few days. You will still get a dungeon review. I will do that. I will probably fly solo on that one, just for the sake of being able to get it done at my own behest. But of course, you have to be 1995 power level to be at the cap throughout all the encounters for contest mode. Contest mode will be up for 48 hours. You guys know how this goes. And you will have to acquire the Drowning Labyrinth quest to enter the dungeon. So, yeah, excited about this. The emblem is dope. I like this emblem a lot that is here. So, very excited. They are, they're streaming the Dungeon Race, of course. The Zone team, CB Gray and Evan F, are going to be hosting Dungeon Zone, and there's going to be loot, encounter progress, developer interviews, behind the scenes dungeon talk, and more. This is the shit we should have had for like the last 4 years, but better late than never. This is clearly trying to appeal to the diehards like myself, so I'm excited to watch this. And probably just turn it off whenever they talk encounters, because I'd still like to kind of go in blind. But you guys don't care about that. You guys don't care about that. You care about the new abilities coming next season, next episode. I may talk mad shit. I said it a couple weeks ago. I feel like, despite my opinions on the storyline, I'm starting to find my love again for this game, and I think it's because I took so much of this episode off. The better part of 4 months, I've taken a lot of it off. I've still gotten to like level 180 in the pass, but I've taken a lot of time off. Outside of like dungeon runs, a couple Salvation's Edge runs here and there, I've really taken a lot of time off, and man, I'm starting to have fun again. And it reminds me why I keep coming back to Destiny time and time again, despite all my gripes. Yes, it's lackluster, but man, I'm having fun just playing with friends. That's what it is. Yeah. That's what it comes down to. And some of these new abilities have me really, really excited. So first, we got to start with the new arc verb, Bolt Charge. Bolt Charge sounds awesome. It is a positive stacking buff that you build up yourself over time. Once you reach max charge, your next ability attack will unleash a devastating bolt of arc lightning. When you have one or more stacks from any source, aspects, fragments, weapon perks, etc., dealing damage with any weapon increases bolt charge stacks. Each time a stack is gained, you gain a chunk of melee energy. At 10 stacks, your bolt charge is ready, and any ability damage, arc, or otherwise summons a powerful arc bolt, dealing roughly the same amount of damage as a solar ignition with a smaller area of effect. Ooh. Different from ignition, though, bolt charge will be tuned to have more consistent and predictable uptime. Similar to addition of frost armor to stasis with the final shape, we have woven bolt charge into arc and prismatic suites to allow those subclasses to access this new keyword. The new arc aspects for Striker Titan and Stormcaller Warlock also feature bolt charge. This sounds really, really cool. I'm excited to see this specifically in I guess in all three, because I'm excited to see it with Arc Buddies. I'm excited to see it with Titan Punches. I'm really excited to see this on things like Liar's Handshake for Hunters. I think this is going to be really, really fun. And I think even if you're not into like specific melee builds, this is going to be fun because it's woven into Prismatic and it's woven into the Arc classes as it is. So like for someone like me who, sometimes, okay, whatever. Like when I go and play Arc, I always do the sliding melee hit is what I like to do. That unleashes the bolt of lightning with your staff. I'm really excited if that's going to do more damage. Really excited for that. I think this sounds cool. But of course, we got to talk about these new aspects. The Hunters are getting a Void one. And it's Night Stalkers. Really, really happy because I love my Night Stalker. You guys know I love to play Void. On the Prowl. Entering invisibility marks a nearby enemy as a priority target for you and teammates. This does not enable players to see marked targets through walls in the Crucible. Defeating priority targets creates a weakening cloud of smoke that makes you and allies invisible when passing through it. When priority targets are defeated, you and nearby allies gain increased weapon reload speed and stability for a short duration and are granted grenade, melee, and class ability energy. This, combined with something like Omnioculus or literally any other ability that lets you go invisible. You can do it with the Vanishing Step. You can do it with the I forget the name of it, for the melee charges that you can use on both Hunter, the Void Suite, and on Prismatic, which I run all the time. I use it with my Shurikens. When I get an ability kill, I go invisible. That's awesome because guess what? Now I can kind of get this into an infinite going loop. I really like that. This is a cool aspect. I like the video that it shows. Oh, the Stylish Executioner. That's what I was thinking of. Vanishing Step, Stylish Executioner, Spectral Blades, Rat King. This procs on Rat King. That's fucking nuts. This procs on Rat King. This is going to be a menace in the Crucible. Oh my sweet Jesus. Once the highlighted target has been defeated by you or anyone in the fire team, the entire fire team is granted a stack of Successful Hunt. And of course, with the aforementioned buffs, Successful Hunt can also stack up to 3 times. Holy shit. Also, when you pass through the weakening cloud of smoke, makes you and any ally that passes through it invisible, thus meeting the condition for activating on the prowl again.
Ooh.
This... Oh boy.
He says.
Oh boy. This is going to be a menace. This is going to get tuned at some point. But for right now, I'm going to choose to be really, really excited and really, really optimistic on it. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. So
it's going to be a lot of fun, everybody.
This is going to be a lot of fun. I think this is going to be fucking awesome. Storm's Keep for Arc Titans. Cast your class ability to grant a moderate number of bolt charge stacks to you and nearby allies. While behind your barricade, you and allies gain stacks of bolt charge over time, and any weapon damage will discharge max stacks of bolt charge. The new arc rifle, auto rifle from the Vesper's Host dungeon, that's what's in this clip that they gave us. Holy shit.
Looks cool.
Casting thruster or barricade gives you and nearby allies bolt charge stacks and the melee energy. If you opt for the barricade version, standing behind the barricade will grant additional stacks over time. Once you're at full stacks, any weapon damage you deal, blah, 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 blah. Will call down a lightning bolt at the target's location once you cash in bolt charge.
Yeah, looks cool.
Standard bolt charge allows you to call down lightning by dealing ability damage, but with Storm's Keep, you can call down lightning just by shooting enemies while behind barricade. Oh my!
I'm into it.
I can't wait. This is going to be awesome. And then, what if we had more than one arc buddy? Ionic Sentry. Defeat targets with arc abilities or weapons to charge up Ionic Sentry. Deploy a powerful arc target which binds on impact and sends out bolts of lightning that chain to nearby enemies and grant stacks of bolt charge when it defeats enemies. And that is when you activate your grenade. So, yeah, you can have this and arc buddy up at the same time. This is insane. I can't wait. This is so cool. When it first lands on the battlefield, Ionic Sentry will blind any nearby targets and begin to chain lightning between enemies, dealing damage. When Ionic Sentry defeats any target, you'll gain a stack of bolt charge, making it a great way to build up bolt charge stacks quickly. I can't wait. This is a special grenade throw similar to how Gunpowder Gamble works for hunters. I can't wait. These all sound awesome. Mm-hmm. This is the shit I want to see like twice a year. I want to see something with the main expansion, and I'd love to see something at the beginning of the year also to kind of give a little bit of love to maybe some of the underused subclasses. Mm-hmm. Not that Void is being underused by hunters at all, but yeah.
No, but it's still cool. It's still
they all play into that power fantasy, which is the most important thing for me. Mm-hmm. So really enjoying that. I really, really like that. There are a lot of balance changes coming. I'm going to just fly through and hit a few of these really fast. I don't want to hit a lot of these because this has been out for a week. You guys have had time to disseminate this. Some of my favorite changes coming for hunters, for example. Hang on, I got to get back to my tab. With Tempest Strike, your damage against PvE enemies is increased by 57%, and killing any jolted target grants a stack of bolt charge. I'm very excited. I love Tempest Strike. Disorienting Blow increases the blind AoE from 6 meters to 9.6 meters and deals damage in an area around the target instead of just a single target damage. Arc Staff, reflecting attacks, will grant stacks of bolt charge. And then Ascension increases fragment slots to 3 on Arc. Thank you. You already got 3 on Prismatic, but now you get it on Arc as well. And activating Ascension will now activate the following effects from following abilities: Gambler's Dodge, Marksman Dodge, Empowering Dodge, and Threaded Spectre. Very, very, very excited. And they say they may add more in the future. Thread Runner, same thing when you activate Ensnaring Slam. And then the Threaded Spectre is going to get PvE damage resistance increased from 40 to 70%. Titans, you're getting increased damage resistance versus splash damage attacks when standing behind your barricade, increased from 60% to 80%. That's pretty big. When you're a striker, Juggernaut Shield is active. Players will have splash damage resistance, 60% in PvE, 10% in PvP. When your Juggernaut Shield blocks damage, you're granted bolt charge stacks. Ballistic Slam, sprint time requirement for activation significantly reduced. Damage scales based on distance traveled. Damage versus PvE increased by 30%. Sentinel, increased the rate that unbreakable offensive throw charges up when blocking damage, and increased the max damage by 20%. There's a lot. Increase the health pool of your shield, increase the void overshield charge rate. Throws now cost half a grenade instead of a full charge. When Sentinel Shield is equipped, Orb of Power creation cooldown increased from 1 second to 4.5 seconds. Unbreakable has received a significant buff, they say. So they're going to make sure they haven't gone too far. They think they may have overtuned this, and to which I say, let it be overtuned. Let it be overtuned. And Ward of Dawn will now emit a weakening pulse. So, the big one that people are going to be upset about here. Sunbreakers. Consecration reduced Scorch Wave and Slam Wave damage in PvE by 55%. That's big. That's a big blow.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But I mean, God, that thing wipes bosses off the map. So
yeah.
They do say they may have to adjust the ignition damage in the future. They didn't want to take away the ignition, but they may have to adjust it here in the future.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense, right?
It makes a lot of sense. Like I was watching what Dealer was doing to the bosses in Kell's Fall with that, and it was just disgusting. absolute just degeneracy.
Yeah.
So, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with being a degenerate. As long as it's not being used against me, it's great. Stormcallers are getting buffs to Storm Trance and Chaos Reach, increased non-champion PvE damage by 20 and 15% respectively. Lightning Surge is getting increased damage by 30%, and a stack of Bolt Charge for each enemy hit with your Lightning Surge. Voidwalker, Handheld Supernova will increase total projectile count from 5 to 9, increase the width of the cone's blast by 2 meters, increase the height by 1 meter, and reduce projectile damage in PvP from 20 to 15 per projectile to account for the additional projectiles. So they're going to be monitoring that to make sure they haven't gone too far with that also, specifically for PvP, it sounds like. There's a few other changes here that I'm like, don't know if I really love this necessarily, but I'm not also like super opposed. The one that I'm looking at that I don't know if I really love is Radiant. Damage bonus reduced from 25% to 20% in PvE. I think that's probably because there's so many ways to trigger Radiant. It should be noted, Well of Radiant's damage bonus remains unchanged here. Who's really using Well these days outside of in Vesper's Host? Funny enough, Vesper's Host is where we have to use it. Vesper's Host and Salvation's Edge. We still have to use it. We still use it for Witness. That's it's kind of funny. Like, they took away the need for us to have it, and then we immediately needed it because of the massive AoE attacks on those. So,
I mean, that's yeah.
Arc changes, Spark of Momentum, actually amplified. When amplified, PvE combatants are now less accurate against you. It's similar to how the Manticore's exotic effect works. Spark of Momentum, now when you slide over ammo bricks, you will grant a stack of Bolt Charge to yourself. So that's cool. I like that. Reduce the amount of time you'd be sliding to activate Spark of Momentum. It should take you 0.75 seconds to do it. Then there's some for Spark of Frequency, Volts, etc. Mainly it's just ways to get stacks of Bolt Charge. Same with Prismatic. So overall, don't really hate this. Don't really hate a lot of these changes. But got some interesting subclass changes here. Very, very, very excited to see how On the Prowl, Storm's Keep, and Ionic Sentry play out. And of course, Bolt Charges. Very, very pumped for Bolt Charges. I'm sure there's going to be something on some of these weapons going forward that will give us that as a perk. Activating that'll be like a little bit easier or something. So we shall see. We shall see what happens. We shall, in fact, see.
Cool.
So that takes care of last week's TWAB, I think. Actually, I lied. We have an event going on right now, the Bento Box event, as it's being called. You do bento boxes with.
Is that an Xbox?
It is not an Xbox. This is not an Xbox. I think I saw Drifter put that sticker on there. It's a little prologue, kind of going into Heresy, as they say. You can get some pretty cool rewards out of this. There's a chance to get some Adept Trials weapons here, to get an Adept Horrors Least. You can get an Adept Horrors Least. The Cataphract, which I grabbed immediately for 1 bento token, mind you. You just have to do 1 quick quest to go get it. It was like 4 Nightmare Hunts, and I had it.
Nice.
You can get an Adept Igneous Hammer out of this, I believe. I'm blanking on what the 4th weapon is. Oh, I have a handy little chart here. You can get the Riptide. You can get a Riptide with Chill Clip, Compulsive Reloader, and Charge Time. You can get Artifice Armor, but these are not high stat rolls. These are shit ass rolls. They're like 62. These are bad. These are bad rolls. Do not get the armor. But the rest of these are all fixed rolls, by the way. I highly, 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 highly recommend getting the Cataphract. This was one of and still is one of the best heavy weapons in the entire game. Go get it. If you are like me and you went into Pantheon without having this, this is your moment. Envious Assassin and Bait and Switch on this. Go get it. This is a must-have. It takes like 10 minutes for you to get this. They are literally giving it away for free. Go get this. Go get an Igneous Hammer. Igneous Hammer has Fragile Focus, Precision Instrument, Range Masterwork. Horror's Lease has Perpetual Motion Kill Clip. I'll be grabbing one of those. We already talked about the Riptide. You can also get Gambit, Vanguard, Iron Banner, Festival of the Lost, Dawning, Guardian Games, and Solstice Mementos out of this event if for whatever reason you want to spend your bento tokens on any of that. And of course, Ascendant Alloys, Ascendant Shards, Exotic Ciphers, and Spoils of Conquest. Spoils of Conquest, you can only buy 3 of these, it should be noted. You can only get 20, or you get 25 per token that you turn in for a total of 75. That is the only thing that is restricted, I believe, that you can get. Anything else, you can spend tokens to your heart's content. But they're topping you off at 75, because that's enough to get a couple of weapons with spoils if you have the necessary guns. So, I will personally be spending the rest of mine on spoils. I will be doing this. I think it's so easy. People are actually doing stuff on the moon for the first time in generations, it feels. So, cool little event. Go do it. Spend some time with Eris and Drifter. And if you do 5 bento box quests, you get the Chatter White shader, which is back and in Destiny 2 for the first time. So, and this event is only around for 2 weeks. By the time you're listening to this, it has already been a few days. You have 10 days left from the time you're listening to this episode when it comes out. So I would say get on it. It is not that hard.
Get on it, he says.
Some of these quests even give you 2 tokens. For example, if you go do the final encounter of any raid or dungeon, you automatically get 2 tokens. So go grab Checkpoint Bot and do whatever the easiest final encounter or dungeon is.
Nice.
Okay, bye. Festival of the Lost 2025 armor voting results. Titan chose the Jason Voorhees slasher armor at 53%. Hunters chose the Spectre armor, which is from Ghost of Lorna, I believe, at 57%. And overwhelmingly, Warlocks chose the Slenderman Spectre set at 73%. Of course, the runner-ups are all going to be made at some point in the next year, so you can look for those. The coolest thing that I'm really excited, though, they announced this via Twitter. The Kaiju Lizard Hunter lost a year or 2 ago and did not get made, but they liked the cloak so much that they are making it as an armor, as an armor ornament to pair with a new look for Dragon's Shadow. Ooh. So I'm very, 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 very excited. We also like the energy claws from the set, but we're reserving them for now. Oh baby, it's a good time to be a spooky lizard.
A spooky lizard.
A spooky lizard. But that does it for last week's. We're gonna say screw it. We're gonna jump right on into the giant Heresy blog from this week, which, man, this is
happening.
It is happening in all the possible ways. It's happening. This is huge. This is the biggest change we've seen to PvP in a hot minute. Almost all of this is going to talk about Trials of Osiris. And then we have a little bit on, I think, Fireteam based matchmaking and Iron Banner and Comp before getting to the end. So we got a lot here. I'm going to try to summarize as best as I can. This has been pretty divisive in our own Discord. Outside of our Discord, a lot of the content creators that I follow or people that I still follow and respect the opinions of in the Destiny community actually are really positive about this, which gives me hope. Because I thought I was going a little crazy that I was like, oh God, even I'm pretty optimistic about most of this. So there's an elephant in the room when it comes to trials. And they outline this here. Trials is not seen as fun or rewarding for average or below average players. Agreed. I cannot tell you the last time I had fun in trials. It was probably like 2.5 years ago. Because even then I was getting my ass whooped, but I still had the chance to be able to get to the lighthouse with my friends. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, it's basically comp, because that's about all there is. And if you play on PC, good luck, you're going to run into trials cheaters pretty regularly.
Yep.
So I have to solo queue it up on console, which is not nearly as fun. Because I would rather be able to play with my friends, and, well, yeah. So that's how we are. In terms of rewards, there's been a lack of new aesthetic awards. Yes, we've had the same armor set for 2 years now, especially motivational ones for high skill players, and our weapon rewards have not consistently been best in class. Agreed. If you are asking us to go play a highly competitive mode where it's the best of the best and it's in 3-team matches or 3-person teams, guess what? It does need to be. I'm not going to say it has to be best in class, but it needs to be up there. They need to be good weapons. They need to be worth pursuing. Maybe not on the level of Mountaintop and Recluse, but they need to be up there. And we haven't had that in Trials in a little while. I would say the closest we got was Cataphract last year. And Cataphract is really the only one that comes to my mind, other than some of these reissued weapons, where I've been like, yeah, you got to drop what you're doing to get that. And before that, it was Immortal. Those were like the last two for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going back 2 years even to get to Immortal. So, and that's even been nerfed into the ground. So the game mode itself is not fun to play at a high stress level. Yep. And Fireteam matchmaking makes it too difficult to play with friends. Yep. So let's start with the Lighthouse Passage. Our goal is to move Trials away from a flawless or bust based system to get to a 7 wins on a card plus longest streak system. Lighthouse for everyone, but much better rewards for longer win streaks. And it will use open skill matchmaking. All you have to do is win 7 games on a Lighthouse Passage, and you will earn entrance to the Lighthouse regardless of how many losses are on the card. The chest rewards are now broken up into 2 types. Repeatable rewards that you earn every time you complete a passage and open the chest, and weekly win streak rewards from 1 to 7 wins in a row, which can be earned once per week and must be true win streaks. There are no mercies here. Earning a higher tier weekly win streak reward will grant all the lower tier streak rewards that have not yet been claimed. Pause. I don't like this. I do not like, and it is purely because I think going to the Lighthouse symbolically is such an important thing. I don't love this. I think going to the Lighthouse should be reserved for if you go truly flawless on a card. I still think that should be how you get there. I'm fine with getting there on 7 wins, I guess, regardless of how long it takes, because persistence, and I'm sure Saint 14 would say something inspiring and all that bullshit. Osiris would not have this mercy. I want to have that noted. Osiris would never have the mercy that Saint does. I think that the other rewards from the win streaks, with the exception of the 7 win chest, should come from Saint himself. I think you should earn those at Saint, or they should just auto drop. I think that the Lighthouse is still one of the very few prestigious things. I know that the prestige has fallen off, but it's one of the very few prestige things still left in Destiny. So I don't really love this. That's kind of small potatoes compared to things I could be complaining about though in this game. So I'm not going to whine too heavily on this one. Repeatable rewards you can earn. You can earn on every Lighthouse visit until a flawless passage is earned. 1 to 2 enhancement prisms, 1 base trials weapon, 1 armor, 3 Assyrian ciphers, a 45% chance at an ascendant shard, and then adept trials weapon chances. The weekly win streaks will give you 30% for 1 win, 60% for 2 win, 100% for 3 or more. So that's very interesting. There's a whole explanation here. I'll let you guys go and break that down. Again, not a huge fan. I don't think that adepts should really be handed out. But I like that there's at least a chance. I think giving a chance is fine, but getting it to where you can get it guaranteed is a little silly. The adept weapons really aren't changing that much. Honestly, it's more about the perk combos for me. So that's my little, I'm going to get up on my soapbox and bitch about this for a moment thing. And then wins as a trio, you have another chance. 1 win to 7 wins give you a 15% chance, and it goes up each win that you get regardless of your longest win streak. If you get all 7 wins in a full fire team, you will get a guaranteed adept weapon when you turn that in. Fine. They're really trying to encourage you to play this with friends. Win streak rewards, there's a lot here. I'm not going to go into this too much. There's a point system that they're doing for some of these rewards. Again, you guys can go look at all these. The glows are now the white trials glow is for the 6 win streak. The red is for the 7 win streak. And there's some other things. You can get the flawless emblems for the first time if you have not earned them. You can get flawless emblems on the 5 win streaks, and you can start getting the shaders there also. You can get a shader once per week on a knockout list when you get to 5 wins. 5 wins kind of feels like the sweet spot to get to now in trials, a 5 win streak, which is a lot harder said than done. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, I really should have brought a drink in here with me.
Do you want to go get one?
No, I do not. If I get up, I'm not coming back. My back really hurts. I'm not getting up from this chair and coming back. For those of you who don't know, I have been dealing with a back problem for about a month. We think I may have some form of a herniated or bulging disc. And if it's not that, it is my sciatica nerve based on where the pain is. I have been dealing with this for about 4 weeks now. I'm really hoping I'm coming out of it, though. They said about 5 to 7 weeks is how long it was going to take me if it was a sciatica. So fingers crossed I'm coming out of it. I'm in the process of buying a much more comfy chair for me to actually sit in at my desk. But even like laying in bed, sitting in a chair, it all hurts. So, all right. After you have earned access to the Lighthouse, your passage will change to a completed Lighthouse passage. Will utilize weekly performance-based matchmaking if everyone in your fire team is on a completed Lighthouse, Flawless, or Trials package, and utilizes Open Skill if anyone in your fire team is on a Lighthouse passage. Dear God, that is where people are going to be like, yes, please come play with me if you have not yet made it to the Lighthouse this week, because they'll put us into an easier pool. Trials carriers are in absolute shambles right now. They are in absolute shambles over this. Additional rewards for longer win streaks. Also, there's a whole chart here. You can see how that goes up. Your chances for everything. I do like this system. I like. There needed to be more rewards to get people to come engage here, and I think they've done that. I think the rewards are here. There are 2 other passages. The Flawless Passage. Players who have earned all 7 weekly win streak rewards will be awarded a Flawless Passage, and all repeatable Lighthouse rewards will be folded into their post-win drop chances alongside higher chances during cosmetics and the new Trials emblem. This will also allow you to progress the Flawless win streak stat tracker. Utilizes weekly performance-based matchmaking if everyone in your fire team is on a completed passage, Flawless, or Trials passage. Because we expect there to be very few players who can earn this passage, it works on a hybrid system where it will spend only a short period of time looking for other similar players before reverting to Open Skill. Earning the Flawless Passage weekly will be the only thing that increments the new Flawless Lighthouse Passages stat tracker. The previous tracker, Flawless Tickets, has been locked and will no longer increase, but can still be displayed on emblems. The Trials of Osiris passage. We wanted to provide a separate... This is where it's gotten controversial, I feel. This is the really controversial one. We wanted to provide a separate place in Trials that is more like Iron Banner in terms of rewards and matchmaking. Oh, dear Jesus. If you are asking why we would want to make any part of Trials like Iron Banner averages more than 3 times the daily participation of Trials. In the last 48 months, Trials has had more than 20% daily participation only 18 times, which is actually the exact same number of days that Iron Banner has had less than 20% participation. The worst performing Iron Banner we had during that period still had almost identical participation to the best performing run of Trials. Yikes. Yikes. That is over a 4-year period, friends. Holy God. Compared to Iron Banner, players who are not able to consistently go Flawless find Trials to be unapproachable due to both the lack of rewards and how unfair many of the games feel with randomized matchmaking and lobby balancing. Exactly. Because many average and below average skill players do not participate in the correct version of Trials, current version of Trials, not correct, at all due to the perception that Flawless is impossible and experience will be negative. This leads to a baseline skill creep that on average makes Trials 10 to 15% more harder than normal PvP and perpetuates the cycle. Yep, I would say it's more like 20 to 30%. But that's just me. That is just me, my friends. Okay. This experience builds off the practice pool, which, despite the low total population, has helped keep average and below average player participation in trials over the last several months 20% higher than similar low point before the 2021 rework. This player allows players to take advantage of the improvements to the base reward structure of trials that we will detail below. Increased reputation, rewards for wins, losses, challenges, earning ghost shells, etc. With a matchmaking system that's fairer, low stakes, and none of the stress of worrying about a loss negating progress. We still want to motivate everyone trying to win, so the Trials of Osiris Passage provides a healthy reputation bonus of 75 to 150 per win, depending on your current skill rank with Saint 14. Playing on this passage will give you all the following rewards. Reputation. Wins will grant reputation. Chance for Ingram. Chance for base trials weapon. Small amount of progress points towards trial ghost shells from the knockout list. Losses grant reputation. Currently 10. It will be 10 times more than was currently given for losses. Already progress. Chance for base trials weapon. Additive extras. Playing in a full fire team grants from either a win or a loss. Chance for Ingram. Bonus rep. Chance for base trials weapon. Playing with a clanmate grants in a win or a loss. Bonus rep. And then challenges reward pinnacles, trials armor pieces, and those are from winning 50 rounds and winning 7 games. I like this. I like all this. This is how the game should have been for a while. Okay? The reputation was always too low. I've bitched about this ad nauseum for almost the entire length of this show. I've complained. Here we go. I finally got my wish. Thank you, Jesus. Rewards. The new armor, the new drip, looks awesome. This set is dope. If you have not seen specifically this Warlock set, it is incredible. The Warlock set is awesome. The Hunter, I really like it. The cloak, not a big fan of things coming out of my cloak. So not really loving this. I would probably mix the Displacer Beast cloak with this also and get like Trial Shader going on it. And of course, that Titan set. The Titan set's dope. If you mix and mingle that with like the OG Anubis set, that's gonna be I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Of course, there's new cosmetics though. That new shader is being shown off there. Love the new shader. The ship is a scarab, which I'm here for.
Yeah.
And the sparrow looks like a beetle. It's probably got moving legs, which means that if Nerd Generalist ever gets this sparrow, he's going to torment me with it from now until the end of my days. So, really not happy with that. I don't like creepy crawly things. Never have, never will.
Mm-hmm. Josh doesn't like creepy crawlies, everybody.
I do not like creepy crawlies. So, your chance of cosmetics are now earned on a point system. Various actions give you points, such as completing challenges, winning games, or opening lighthouse chests. Your chance of getting a cosmetic from those actions increases exponentially as your total points increase. If you hit the upper limit of points in one of the pools, 1,000 points, you are guaranteed a cosmetic from that pool. Earning any cosmetic from the pool resets your points. So it sounds like you have a chance, every time you earn points, you have a chance for one of these to drop, and then your chance is reset. Cosmetics are divided up into vehicles, ships and sparrows, obviously, which are exclusive to players who can earn high win streaks, and ghost shells, which all players can earn, but is faster if you go to the lighthouse and get the higher streaks. In Heresy, we're introducing a new ship and sparrow along with a new ghost shell. All existing Trials of Osiris vehicles will be in one pool, and all ghost shells will be in a second. These are knockout lists, meaning you cannot get duplicates from either pool, so if you play enough, you will eventually earn them all. And same way with Lighthouse Keeper. Exclusively for players who can get the upper win streaks. That's the 5 streak. The 5 streak is where you're going to get the most progress on these. We were just talking about that. That's going to be the sweet spot. It sounds like that again. I was looking to see if we saw the ghost is really tiny, but the ghost also looks like it might be like scarab themed, which I'm here for. New weapons though. We needed new weapons. I'm interested in this. So the new sniper rifle, Keen Thistle, designed to give Macabre a run for its money in the Crucible, and has at least one wild perk combo for PvE too. Triple tap 4 times may catch your eye, but after the recent sniper buffs, don't sleep on Discord. Incandescent on a sniper could be really disgusting, especially given the update that basically is going to make Darcy the Gallarhorn of sniper rifles that we got today. So I'm interested to get a roll of this and play around with it. You can get, in the first column, you can get snapshot sights, you can get Lone Wolf, Under Pressure, Incandescent, Envious Arsenal, Slick Draw, Triple Tap, and in the right column, you've got Opening Shot, Closing Time, Discord, Bait and Switch, Moving Target, Vorpal, 4 times, both pretty solid perk lists here. Of course, everybody likes opening shot and snapshot on a sniper. I can't disagree. Lone Wolf, I think, is good if you like to play in Rumble, or you like to go it alone, playing in Trials even, that can be good. Under Pressure, always fun. Incandescent could be interesting. Envious Arsenal, always good. Slick Draw, always good. Triple Tap, always good. Just, Jesus Christ, seriously. Like, what a great list on both. I like all of these perks, and I like all of them when it comes to a sniper rifle. It's a solar aggressive sniper. I like it. And then our old friend Exalted Truth is back for the Void hand cannon. You get Slide Shot. You get Lone Wolf, Destabilizing, Moving Target, Zen Moment, Keep Away, Withering Gaze. And then in the right column, you get the Eye of the Storm. You get Opening Shot, Precision Instrument, Magnificent Howl, One for All, Repulsor Brace, and Redacted. So interested to see what that new perk is going to be. It's going to be something Void themed. We got a couple of Redacteds on a new weapon that was announced today, which we're going to get into in the TWAB. But holy shit. And there is a third weapon coming to the group later in the episode as part of a late season refresh. The Inquisitor Arc Precision Slug Shoddy, which can come with Envious Assassin, Lone Wolf, Offhand Strike, Loose Change, Perpetual Motion, Slide Shot, and Threat Detector. And then your right column, you've got Bait and Switch, Closing Time, Cascade Point, Fragile Focus, Jolting Feedback. Really excited for that. Opening Shot, and Precision Instruments. Going along with this, we have also increased the Osirian Ciphers cap to 30, up from 10, and removed the requirement to earn the Adept weapon each week. It is available and now only needs to be earned once, and then can be focused in subsequent weeks when it is the featured weapon. God damn. Those are two really good changes at the end. I really like that. I personally have not played enough to get any Osirian Ciphers, but I really like that, and I really, really like the requirement with the Adept weapons. We've run into this issue with the Nightfall weapons before, too, where you gotta earn it each season or something to qualify, and just take that shit away. Take that shit away. I earned it once. I should be good.
Take it away.
Take it away, Ernie.
Jeez.
I wanted to watch Prisoner of Azkaban the other day. But yeah, I would 100% just be like, yeah, I'm fine with this. I like those. The Pinnacle challenges are going to win 50 rounds. You get a gear drop, you get an armor piece, and you get 40 progress points towards the Ghost Shell. And then win 7 games, you get Pinnacle gear and Trials armor. The Reputation. Base win is going to be anywhere from 135 to 205. Base loss will be 60 to 155. And then clan bonus for a win is 100. Clan bonus for a loss is 50. And trio completion win or loss is 25. So you can potentially be getting, I don't know, if you're playing with a clan and in a trio, you can potentially be getting 350 as your base reputation. It sounds like, if I'm doing the math correctly here. So I love that.
Nice.
I absolutely love that. I think that's great. And then base rewards, base win, Trials percent chance, 50%, Engram 33%, Ghost Shell 1 progress point. Base loss gives you a chance of a Trials weapon at 33%, and trio win or loss 50% on Engram, 50% on Trials weapon. That Ghost Shell progress point, I feel like that's going to be reset at a certain point, but it is mainly people that they are trying to get motivated to come play who need those. So like, I have 2 Trials Ghosts, I think. I want to say I have 2. I have like 2 out of the 3 or 4 that are available, not counting the new one that's about to come out. So like, I would already be on the knockout system. I just don't know. I don't know. I feel like that's going to be changed for the base wins. That's probably going to go up to like 5 points or something. But who knows? Because I think if it's 1 point, oh boy, that's a while. And you can only do the Trials Challenge once per week for well, I guess if you play on all 3 characters, you could get feasibly 120 progress points. But it's 150 rounds of Trials.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of Trials. It's a lot of Trials.
Some might say it's too much Trials, Josh.
Yeah, if it was like 1 progress point per round win or something, I might agree with that more. But 1 per match it's a little rough.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It is a little rough, my friend. Dominion is getting some QOL changes. Zone will now spawn after 40 seconds as 30. Zone takes 20 seconds to capture, up from 15. And neutral special ammo spawns at 30 seconds instead of 20. Cool. They're trying to get you to play the objective more and more. Fire team based matchmaking. So they give a pretty decent breakdown of it right here, why they can't just take it out of trials. They say statistically it has kept solo players playing more frequently than the old freelance weekend system did. If we removed that and reverted to freelance weekends, it would not increase the number of trios or improve their experience. It would simply decrease the number of solos playing. They give a chart here. I love my charts. Starting in Heresy Act 2, we will allow duos to match trios right off the bat in both trials and comp. This will continue to allow duos to play with our 3v3 playlist without making it feel like an advantage if they can avoid trios. We have not enabled this in the past because for the solo player that gets brought into the match to fill out the duo's team, it always feels like a bad experience to see a trio on the other side. Filling out duos games with solo players often makes it feel like a lottery to see who gets the better team. To help with this friction, we will be setting it up so that any solo player that gets matched against a larger fire team in either trials or comp will be granted loss forgiveness for the match on the condition they do not quit, go AFK, or intentionally throw. Doing any of these actions will result in a loss and potentially a matchmaking restriction. So, hey, I like that. They are clearly trying to steer you towards 3-person teams.
Yeah.
So, but if you play solo in trials, like I tend to, then it makes your experience a little bit better too. So I like that. Big fan.
Good. Yeah.
Player score stat. I'm not really going to go into this. I'm going to be totally honest. You guys can read this and break it down. Same with the points rework and comp. I'm going to let you guys read all this. I don't play enough comp to really be able to give an opinion on this. I'm going to be totally honest. Mm-hmm. I've played enough trials that I can give the input there. I can't really do that with comp. But I will talk about this new weapon that is coming, the PR-55 frame pulse rifle, Redrix's S-Talk. This thing comes on the first column with Encore, Lone Wolf, Perpetual Motion, Zen Moment, Offhand Strike, Rhyme Stealer, Demolitionist. If you didn't catch it, this is a stasis weapon. The second column has Desperate Measures, Sword Logic, Desperado, Headseeker, Rapid Hit, Kill Clip, Headstone. Holy shit, man. Again, another oops, all bangers here. I really, really I love Perpetual Motion on pulses. Big fan of Zen Moment. Rhyme Stealer with Headstone is going to be nasty. You can't go wrong with Desperado, Headseeker, Rapid Hit, or Kill Clip. I like Desperate Measures a lot. Oops, all bangers. There's some new emblems going live for comp. I will say this. Heresy Act 2, the maximum rank cap is being raised from 10,000 to 15,000, allowing you to climb to the new Ascendant 0 division. Wins while in Ascendant 0 will give you points progress towards earning the new Darkest Night emblem. The higher your rank, the more points you get for wins. That's going to be one of the most exclusive emblems in the game. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool emblem. I like that. And comp quality of life updates, again, that there's some really basic things here I'll go over, but I'm not going to go over the rep and all that. New logic will prevent the next zone from spawning too close to the active zone. I know that's been a big complaint for friends I have who play comp for a while now. Contesting a zone will now flip it to neutral, so neither team gains points, as opposed to the current behavior where the team that owns the zone continues to accrue points while it is in the contested state. New zone will show up 20 seconds before it opens instead of 15 to give teams more time to move to the new area and contest capture. And quit protection timer has been increased to 90 seconds to make sure if a player is AFK at the beginning of the match and gets kicked, their teammates will still benefit from loss forgiveness. So, a lot of good things there. And the last thing we really have is some playlist reorganization. Holy shit. This is long. This is like 10,000 words, man. Jeez. 10,000 words. Jesus Christ.
It's a lot. It's a lot of words.
My throat is getting dry and we still have exotics to go through. I'm going to let you guys look at these, look at the quick play rotators and the playlist reorganization. I'm also just not a huge fan of this. The quick play rotator is going to be your 6v6 Clash, Supremacy, Zone Control, Rift, Relic. Small team quick play is it can be anything from 2v2 Clash, 3v3 Elim, 3v3 Countdown Rush, Dominion, Countdown Survival Showdown, 4v4 Lockdown. And then there's going to be modified quick play, which is Checkmate and hardware variants. I don't know if I really love this. I think this is just getting unnecessarily complicated, but this is to have multiple modes up at a time and to keep it to where you're not waiting 5 weeks for a mode to come up for a challenge, I presume. Events, so control is always going to be up, but Iron Banner control will replace it. The weeks of February 18th to the 25th, April 1st to April 8th, and April 29th to May 6th. There will also be an Iron Banner quick play rotator. I do like this. This is going to have open skill, no skill-based matchmaking, open skill, and it will replace quick play during that week, and it will have Tribute, Fortress, and Eruption in it. And then, obviously, we've already talked about Trials. Guardian Games quick play will have Supremacy, and then there will be Crucible Labs. Modes will be thrown into the node that they represent respectfully when they're up. Those are the new ones. Lockdown, Checkmate Throwback are both bad. Those are here as 4v4, and then Hardware Hardcore 3v3. God, there's 3 brand new weapons. The Iron Banner is going to get Warlord Spear, which is an arc adaptive trace. Again, you guys know I love my traces. Dynamic Sway, Envious Assassin, Rewind Rounds, thank you, Jesus. High Impact Reserves, Hipfire Grip, Loose Change, and the right column, Desperate Measures, Killing Tally, Target Lock, 4 times redacted. Right now, right off the bat, I'm going Rewind Rounds, and in the first column, that's easily the best one for me. Although I won't sleep on Dynamic Sway or Envious. I do have Dynamic Sway on another trace, I believe, another arc trace from Seraph, I want to say. But in that second column, I really love Killing Tally, Target Lock, and 4 times. Just chef's kiss. And my beloved Peace Bond is back. You guys have heard me talk about Peace Bond. There's some new perks in here, including Desperado and Rhyme Stealer. Pretty excited for that. Joxer's Longsword is a heavy burst pulse that's coming to the Crucible. Joxer, our old friend Joxer, is being referenced again. Yeah, sorry, Corey. I'm just kind of flying through all these, trying to get through it.
Look, there's a lot here. We might as well just fly through it.
There's a lot, but if I run across anything that you need to interject on, you interject.
No, you just keep going.
Joxer's Longsword can come in that first column. Closing Time, Demolitionist, Dragonfly, Killing Wind, Gut Shot Straight, Lone Wolf, Pugilist, Enlightened Action, Rewind Rounds, Repulsor Brace Strategist, Shoot to Loot. Very excited to shoot to loot on this. And in the right column, you can get Adrenaline Junkie, Desperado, Desperate Measures, Destabilizing, Withering Gaze. Very interesting choice for a pulse. Really love that. Headseeker, High Impact Reserves, Under Pressure, One for All Swashbuckler, Zen Moment, and Redacted. Again, I'm looking at this. I'm really enjoying Rewind Rounds on this. I like Shoot to Loot on this for PvE purposes. I like Dragonfly. I like Closing Time. Repulsor Brace is always a favorite. That right column, Desperado, Destabilizing. Withering Gaze is the most exciting one for me here. It may not be the best, but it's the most exciting. And then you got normal ones like Headseeker, Zen Moment, One for All, ones that we're very used to. And it's got the Nadir Origin trait on this. So... oh boy, that is going to do it here, except for we got one more thing. The special ammo meter will be returning, and it sounds like it's going to come during Frontiers. Completely rebuilt with significantly more tuning levers and much less likelihood of causing local lag spikes or granting infinite ammo. Why has it taken so long, you might ask? Mostly because the new ammo meter is tied into the largest game-wide rework of Destiny's ammo economy we have ever done. This has been a massive collaboration between multiple teams, including Crucible Strike Team, Engineering, Activities, Armor, Weapons, and UI UX. The new system is shaping up well, and we're excited to get it back into the game once it has been completed. I would say do not expect this before July. I think that you're going to see it when the new, when Frontiers launches. It might be ready at launch, but I'm not going to hold my breath on it. So that does it for the Crucible update. I need to take a second. Corey, what do you think about some of these Crucible changes to Trials? Especially this loot. This loot is banger.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I think it's on paper it kind of keeps the hardcore happy with this banger loot while making it somewhat easier of allowing people like me who want to dabble a little bit more inviting.
For sure.
I think the loot is awesome. I think the armor is awesome. I think I think that's on paper. I'm sure we'll have a discussion about it in a month or so, see if it really was great or not. But At least right now on paper, it sounds great.
It really does. I'm very, very excited to see what happens with this system. I think this is awesome. I want to play the trials changes before I get too upset. But right now, I mean, and again, it's kind of small potatoes. It's a little silly. I'm most irritated about the fact that it feels like we're cheapening the lighthouse. If I can be just like completely and totally frank with you. I think that is just a little bit silly. I don't love it. And I don't necessarily hate it either. I'm just not... You can be a fan of something without saying, oh, I fucking hate this. This is ridiculous. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely not ready to say that I'm there yet, but right now, not a particularly huge fan. I think that there is just so much more that you can do here. So,
yeah.
But I like that. I like the change that we're making to just about everything else in regards to the reputation for trials, the loot. It feels like the loot is getting there again. I don't know if we're all the way there, but getting a new armor set, getting a new emblem, a new ship, a new ghost, that's not really room for praise. But I do think putting things on a knockout system with a point system is something that we can praise. I think that's something we can, and frankly, that we should praise.
What's that, Josh?
The point system.
The point system.
The point system for trials, for the trials
Praise
rewards.
It.
I think that is a just really, really, really solid system to do for cosmetic rewards. You could do infinitely worse here. I like that rather than just, oh, we're leaving it all up to chance. You know you're at least working towards something on these. Tying some of the more prestigious things like the ships and the sparrows into, you need to go on the 5-win streak to get there, as well as the emblems, or at least have the chance for them to drop, is also pretty important, I think, to not just be handing those out. I do like that. And I mean, we'll see, but I think the weapons for Iron Banner are exciting. I think the weapon for Comp is exciting. I think the one for regular Crucible is exciting. There are really, really good weapons here, and I'm really excited. Although it feels like the pulse was maybe like, not the pulse, the heavy pulse was maybe developed after the others, because I'm not bummed about the perks. I was very excited for Withering Gaze, but it feels like, oh, we got a few perks that I'm not like super stoked for with my playstyle here compared to the others. Where I'm like, yes. So overall, I don't hate this, but I can understand for PvP heavy players why you would dislike this, because it does feel like I think specifically the adept weapon chances are a step too far. I don't think that we should be doing that.
Yeah.
I don't think we should be doing that. I don't like that. I am not a fan of that. But again, it could be way worse. So,
yeah.
All right. Moving on to this week in Destiny. Moving on to the 12th.
This week in Destiny. This week, Josh?
This week. We're going to go ahead and start off by telling y'all there is a Heresy live stream happening on January the 28th at 10 a.m. That is next Tuesday. For those of you keeping track at home, I can't believe we're already at the end of January. Next Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific, we'll be getting the reveal for Heresy. Yeah. There is a Scorned Organ emblem that you can get from that, and the Golden Hour emblem also that you can get. So those are there. Here's the first thing we got to talk about, though, Corey. Content delivery plans for Heresy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's any secret that Echoes could have gone better, and that Revenant definitely could have gone better.
Yeah.
Well, if you enjoyed getting all your story done in one 45-minute go and then disappearing from the story for like 6 weeks, I really hate to be the bearer of bad news. Heresy will have weekly content and story delivery once again. I'm of two minds about this. I think that the system in Revenant would have worked perfectly fine if there was more story and less running to talk to the same NPCs across town time and time again. Or running to the holo projector to talk to Ido, who was 5 feet away from me. That was very poor. That was very poorly implemented. And if you were going to do something like that, you needed to build the story in a manner that did that, or build the interactions in the last city that way. And they clearly did not do that. And that is just maddening to me. We understand concerns about returning to this approach, but we've learned a lot from the all-in format of Revenant. So in Heresy, we're striking a balance between everything dropping day one versus meaningful reasons to log in throughout the episode. Good, because I didn't feel like I had them. To that end, we made the vast majority of activities content available the first day, with said content evolving based on the weekly story. Okay, we're getting somewhere. It's like 5 years too late, but we're getting somewhere. Each week will also feature a seasonal challenge that rewards a new tier of seasonal weapon. Check out the live stream for more at the first look at the heretical arsenal. Without stepping into spoiler territory, we can also tell you Heresy won't rely on a fixed length for each act like previous episodes. For example, Act 2 will last 3 weeks instead of the standard 5 or 6. Additionally, all reprised weapon in the episode will be available at launch, while all the second half of episodic weapons will be when Act 2 launches. Our goal is to tell a satisfying and exciting story that both serves as an epilogue to Light and Dark and helps pave the way for Frontiers. I think this is interesting. Act 2 only being 3 weeks is a choice. To be clear, I don't know how we're going to structure this show with that just yet. I need to take a little bit of time to think about it, but 3 weeks is definitely a choice. That tells me that you probably don't have much, or maybe that's when the exotic mission drops. Maybe an exotic mission drops in Act 2 instead of Act 3 this time. You know, there's choices to be made here. I want to see what happens before I go and just murder this, I guess you could say, across the board and throw a hissy fit and start screaming. As I put it to people in Discord earlier, I was talking to Titan and somebody else. I don't remember who else I was talking to, but I said that, yeah, I don't know how this is going to go, but for right now, I'm not ready to break out the pitchfork, but I'm unlocking the cabinet. The key has been turned on the groundskeeper's shed. So I am I'm ready to be upset, but I'm going in optimistic because this is striking a balance between two content delivery systems that I think both have their merits. So we'll see.
We shall see.
But we got to get into the meat of it all, which is all the sandbox changes. I'm going to be totally honest, guys. I'm going to go through and hit some of the really, really big ones that are getting new intrinsics and things like that, because there are so many changes here that I can't do this. I absolutely cannot do all of this in one sitting. We still have the end of the season story to talk about. So please, if I skip something, make a note of it that I skipped it, and we'll talk about it like next episode or something, because by then the changes will be in, and I can test out some of these.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Hunters. You're getting an update to Sealed Ahamkara grasps. We've reworked its behavior to have a bit more exotic flair in terms of playstyle, reworked with a weapon swapping focus to differentiate it from other Hunter Reload exotics. And the perk description now reads as follows. Powered melee and finisher final blows grant nightmare fuel, increasing handling and airborne effectiveness. While active, freshly drawn weapons deal additional damage and grant nightmare fuel on final blows. Gaining nightmare fuel reloads all holstered weapons. I like this as a PvP exotic right there. I really like that. That's cool. I like that. I think for something like Rumble or something like Momentum Control, this can be a really, really awesome exotic. Renewal grasps doubled the rate of frost armor gained while in the enhanced Duskfield grenade. Really like that. So I like that. That's gonna grant a little bit more. Foe tracer, we're increasing the bonus weapon damage duration from 10 to 15 seconds. Radiant dance machines. I have long wanted RDMs to be good. They've been reworked to allow multiple dodge charges to count as real dodges for the purposes of perks and aspects. The trigger mechanism for granting extra dodges requires more effort to compensate for that, but the overall change is a large increase in strength and utility. Improves airborne effectiveness and hipfire mobility, range, and accuracy for primary ammo weapons. Multi-kills with primary weapons refund dodge energy. When dodge energy is full, multi-kills grant extra charges. Powerful combatants and guardians count as more than one kill. This is now an awesome PvP exotic. Very, very excited to see this in the terms of some of the Crucible reworks going on. I expect these to be heavily used by hunters. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're going to unseat Stompies as the number one, but these are going to be up there. These are going to be like a top 3 or 4 exotic for hunters to be using in PvP. Really like that. And then Spirit of Galanor reduced the maximum amount of energy refunded for Silk Strike and Golden Gun to 30%, down from 50%. So I like that. They don't like the fact that supers were chaining. Fine, whatever. Titan Ramparts. Removed several downsides applied by Assault Barricade to bring it in line with those towering barricade behavior. Cumulatively, these changes result in a towering barricade you can shoot through with no other downsides while Titans are equipped in PvE. Increased barrier health from 400 to 500, no longer increases barrier cooldown or decreases duration. Further increased damage dealt to Titan barricades by Guardians from 125 to 160. This results in near identical effective barrier health in PvP. So that's really, really cool, I think, for anyone interested in running Titan Ramparts.
Yeah.
My mouth is really dry, and all I have is bourbon within reach, and that's definitely not going to help.
or will it?
It will not. It definitely will not. I plan on trying to sleep after this because let me tell you something, Corey. I have to go watch a full-on basketball game after this back on MavsTV.com because the Dallas Mavericks just beat the Oklahoma City Thunder for the 3rd fucking time this season. The hospital Dallas Mavericks have done it.
Yeah.
Playing a two-way player as a starter, mind you, beat the best team in the league for the 2nd time this week, by the way. 121 to 115, win the season series 3-1. Of course, we couldn't be bothered to win the fucking cup game, but, you know.
Attaboy.
Anyways, back to Titan changes. Eternal Warrior, final blows with Fists of Havoc now grant extended super duration. Really interesting for that. They wanted to be an appealing option for Fists of Havoc. Fists of Havoc, always a fun super to use, even though if I'm more of a Thunderstrike guy myself, I still really like this. Ursa Furiosa, blocking damage with Unbreakable, now returns grenade energy instead of super energy. Grenade energy is returned at the end of Unbreakable and is scaled back based on the amount of damage you blocked with it. So, okay, interesting. They want to integrate that. Kefri's Horn might be the biggest one, though, for Titans. It's getting a glow up. Still causes your barricade to emit waves of damaging solar energy, but with this update, they have been significantly enhanced. Now sends out 3 waves of flame instead of 1. These waves no longer return towards the barricade. They only travel outwards once. Tracking on the waves has been enhanced. Combatants damaged are enveloped in a sunspot. Players are enveloped if they are defeated. Now requires a solar super to be equipped to create the flame waves from the barricade. That's a fair trade-off. I feel.
Yeah.
But that also means that it works with Prismatic. This is awesome. This is a really, really, really cool thing. Also, Spirit of the Horn on Stoicism has inherited these changes for your exotic class items. So, should be very, very, very excited for that. Warlocks. All right, going to fly through these really quickly. Storm Dancer's Brace. Double the damage benefit per stack of ascending amplitude up to 20% from 10%. Reduces the cost of Ionic Blink during the super by 50%. That's big. And reduce maximum amount of energy refunded to 30% down from 50%. That's a pretty fair trade-off in order for more mobility during Storm Dancer's Brace. Geomags. Added a new perk. Sprinting while near max bolt charge will top it off. Starts at 6 stacks of bolt charge. Re-enable increased super energy gain from ionic traces from 7% to 7% from 2%. That's big. That's a big one. I really, really like that. They said they feel like they can do this without breaking PvP, and we'll see. That's why
we'll be the judge of that.
Well, that's why the returning energy for supers was via exotics was initially nerfed. Was ones like this. This is like Spirit of Galanor. Or no, that's for Stormbracers. God, I'm getting really confused. Sprinting to get super was removed due to PvP issues. That's what I was thinking of. It was removed due to PvP issues, and now they've re-enabled it because of changes to the art kit. Really, really love that. Speaker Sight. Healing turrets will no longer heal targets allies at full health. Allies need some damage done to their shields to be eligible targets. Really like that. I can't tell you the amount of times that it would shoot people at full health and not be shooting me. Spirit or Verity's Brow is one I'm going to let you guys go read on your own. There's a lot of timing changes here that I'm going to allow you guys to check out, but that's a pretty big deal. All right. We're about a third of the way through, Corey.
Almost there.
We're oh my God. I want to die.
It's going to be okay, Josh.
Holy Jesus, dude. I'm so fucking tired. I'm so fucking tired.
We're almost there.
Man, oh my God. Okay. Aim assistance. We now weight aim assistance against targets you've aimed for a short time more strongly compared to brand new targets when a new target is introduced by crossing your reticle. So this is a thing that affects controller players specifically. When using controller input, there's an issue where a quickly moving target crossing your vision can pull your aim off your previous target by introducing a time-based component. I have had that happen to me plenty of times. It's really, really, really fucking annoying. We understand this is potentially wide-reaching change, but thus far I've been satisfied with the results in playtests. Controller players, please let us know if you encounter any issues as a result of this change. I'm very excited for this. Very excited. This is awesome. This is a great change. It's a great change. Some people are saying this is the best change. Some people, I don't know who, some people, grown men were crying, Corey. Grown men were crying at this.
We're crying.
Grown men were crying. I'm kidding. I fucking hate that guy. We only make fun of him here. Weapon archetypes and subfamilies. In PvE, scout rifles, 15% versus minors, 30 versus majors. Auto rifles, 10% versus both. SMGs, 5% versus minors. Trace rifles, 20% versus minors. Linear fusions, 10% versus all combatants. Really excited for that linear buff. I love using linears in PvE high-end content. Glaives. There is a huge glaive rework coming here. Glaives have historically been a niche weapon type that is found hard to break into mainstream usage. You guys have never met me. In this update, we are applying a sweeping buff to many of the Glaives' baseline stats and behaviors to remove some of their unwieldiness and make them a more attractive and easy-to-use option. Significantly increased aim assist, aim magnetism, damage fall-off ranges across the board. Guys, I'm a fucking sniper with mine. So,
thanks.
It's GG's the next time that I go into banner with a Glaive and Rat King. Just gonna say, that has been a real thing that I have been doing in Iron Banner, and it's a lot of fun. You have to do it with a full stack, but it is an absolute blast doing it. I've done it with Dealer and some of his friends. I think I did it with Ronnie and a few of the Misadventure crew once upon a time. It's a lot of fun. I don't play a ton of Banner these days. Just not playing a lot of PvP except for Marvel Rivals right now, but. Oh boy, I'm really excited for that.
Marvel Rivals doesn't have glaives, Josh.
Marvel Rivals does not have glaives, but it has teleporting swords, which is almost as bad. Improved glaive projectile registration hit. Increased the baseline effects at all stat values for handling speeds, including shield ready speed, draw and stow speeds, magazine size, projectile speed, reload speed. Final hit of the melee combo deals double damage and inflicts much more flinch on PvE combatants. I can't fucking wait, Corey. I'm so excited for this.
I can
no shit. This is like the most exciting thing that I've read all night. We talked about Doom the Dark Ages for 20 minutes before this show.
That is true. We did.
Check out the Xbox Casuals feed for our thoughts on today's Xbox Developer Direct, which was awesome. Ninja Gaiden 4, guys. But fusion rifles. Aggressive frame fusion rifles. Coriolis Force, specifically, is the only one in the game with this. They are doing a complete rework here. I'm going to let you guys read these. I do not use this weapon at all. I use fusion rifles. I do not use Coriolis Force. I'm going to let you guys read these changes. This is relevant to weapons that will be in the weapon pools this episode. I am assuming that means one in the episode pool, and I'm probably going to go ahead and just make an assumption that there's one in the dungeon. So, because they say new aggressive frames with new perk pools are coming. So, support frame auto rifles. We both really love these. Range now increases how far away you can heal another Guardian. Really, really like that. I'm having a lot of fun with these. Rocket sidearms.
Rocket sidearms.
I'm really annoyed by this because let me tell you something. I really, really, really love rocket sidearms, but I understand that part of the appeal is how easy they are to use.
Yeah.
We've reduced the reserves for these in Revenant, which they did, and you could feel it, to bring their uptime a little bit closer to other special weapons. And with these changes, we are moving these into a more defined niche, keeping them potent within that niche, but a little less universally useful in all situations. With these changes, they should remain a viable, ammo-efficient option for clearing minor, major, and champion-tier targets with direct hits, without also being great at killing everything nearby the primary target. Reduced PvE detonation damage by 45%.
45%, jeez.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I think this is specifically because of the incandescent sidearm. I think that's honestly what this is specifically for.
Yeah,
increased PvE impact damage by 100%, reduced aim assist fall off and maximum distance by 8 meters, reduced magnetism fall off and maximum distance by 8 meters, reduced damage by 30% versus boss vehicle and mini boss targets. Buried Bloodlines body shot damage is unaffected. Critical hit damage is buffed by 8%. That's fine. That's an exotic. That's fine. The range stat was vestigial to the weapon subfamily, so we've removed it. Range Masterworks and Enhanced Intrinsics will be replaced with something more appropriate. So interested to see how that goes, because I'm pretty sure that's what I had in mind. Actually, I don't know if I did. I might have had Blast Radius on mine. I don't love this. And that's purely because I think Rocket Sidearms and Glaives are like, obviously they're two of the only new weapon. They're the only two new weapon families, and they're really the only new like sub families that we've gotten that are fun. I would say aside from like the special sword with Ergo Sum and like healing autos are, they're fine, but we only have like one of them, I think, off the top of my head. So
yeah,
this kind of sucks, especially given how many they're finally giving us. Like we had to wait. We waited like 7 months to get a new one, to get the call. We got the call, and we got Aberrant Action back to back from Final Shape and Echoes, and those are both awesome. We got the Stasis one this season. We're finally getting a Legendary Void one, which we're going to talk about here in just a second. But to what end? Like, to what end are we getting this?
Right.
So I'm a little miffed right now. I'm not in love with this. I don't hate it, but I'm not in love with it. I do hate that detonation damage by 45%. I think that's insane. And I feel like that's going to get walked back a little bit. I think just doing it like 20% would have been enough. Yeah. Because that combined with the ammo economy for it makes it real rough. Like here's going to be my thing. If you're going to decrease the detonation damage, increase my reserves a little bit. Not by much, but just a little bit. Increase them back up. Not all the way to where they were, because I do agree that was a little ridiculous. I was just mainlining that gun in so many encounters. But I do think that you can safely bring that up just a little bit without it being a huge problem. But that's my opinion. My thinking from this is they do plan on a lot more enemy dense encounters going forward, so they don't want you to be able to keep blowing things away and chaining them with incandescent. That would be my incandescent like chill clip. So right. Again, this is a wait and see. I want to wait and see how it feels. Rest assured, I will be in there as soon as Heresy launches. I will be in there playing it, and so help me God, I will bitch about it on that Thursday show to absolutely no end if I don't like it. Exotic weapons. Oh God, there's so many of these.
There are a lot.
This is really where there is a lot, and I'm just gonna kind of jaunt through these and hit a few. Again, I encourage you guys to go read these on your own, but I mainly want to talk about ones that are getting new perks or complete reworks. Specifically, let's hit Darcy. I want to talk about Darcy. Darcy has long struggled to complete with its exotic brethren, so we're taking a stab at building a niche for it in a fire team the way Gallarhorn and Ergo Sum have been found for their respectable weapon types. Love Ergo Sum. We had the Legend of Ergo Sum, aka our challenge run of Vespers, where A1 Johnny was just soloing the second encounter basically with it. Added a new catalyst perk, network targeting. Hits with personal assistant active grant you
and nearby allies. Improved overall weapon performance and precision damage with non-exotic snipers. Improves recoil, finch, target acquisition, handling, and precision damage. Stacks up to 5%. Darcy also gets this buff, and the user also gets plus 15% damage after granting 5 stacks to a teammate. I like this. I want to see how this goes. I have a feeling that snipers may be really, really viable in the new dungeon, but we'll wait and see. I like this change on its face. On its face, I like this. I think it's cool to try. This embodies what an exotic weapon should do. It should do something that is a creative niche, and especially if it's something like this that has historically just never been an amazing gun. It's literally been useful in like one encounter ever. If anybody remembers Insurrection Prime in Scourge of the Past, this was the sniper.
Yeah.
So I would encourage people to remember that. The exotic glaives are getting specific buffs. Special shot is no longer tied to glaive energy, now triggered on 6 weapon hits to allow the special reload. Concurrence will get jolting feedback. Edge of action will get destabilizing rounds. And edge of intent will get incandescent. Cure pulse and the healing turret will get the speaker sight buffs, no longer targeting allies at full health. So I think all 3 of these might actually be good now. Like the neutral game looks so good. So I'm excited to see how these play out. Centrifuge is getting a mag size included to 45. The exotics where you can swap your elements, Dead Messenger, Hardlight, Borealis, are getting a new thing in fundamentals. Grants a 30% damage buff, 10% in PvP, to the weapon for 10 seconds when you apply or receive an elemental keyword that matches the correctly selected damage type of this weapon. No longer grants different stats based on current element. So I do like that. I'm interested in that. I still like Hardlight, and I think Dead Messenger has a really good place in the meta. If you're going to use an exotic breach loader, I think it's an S tier choice for me.
Uh-huh.
We're playing with fire here, Corey. They're changing Telesto.
What?
Yep.
Are they going to make it not break things?
No, I think it is going to. They said, how do you buff Telesto? You make it more Telesto. Harbinger's Pulse now only refills Telesto's ammo from reserves instead of Telesto and your kinetic slot weapon. Now triggers with any void final blow. Final blow requirement increased from 2 to 3, but Telesto final blows count double. Multi-kill timer increased from 2 seconds to 4.5, and then the Catalyst has a new perk, Harbinger Seethe. After 3 activations of Harbinger's Pulse, special reload the weapon to cause a rain of Telesto projectiles on your next direct hit. I fucking love this, but the game is 100% going to break.
Yeah.
The game is absolutely going to break with this being implemented. And I'm just so excited to see this absolutely collapse it's going to get revoked for Dungeon Day 1. I promise you, this weapon's being taken out. You're not going to be allowed to use it. We're not going to be able to use this in the dungeon for like 4 months like we couldn't use Tether. Just wait.
Yep.
I think this is hilarious. This is absolutely fantastic. I love everything about this.
I love it. I love it. You know how I feel about Telesto, Josh?
I don't. Would you like to remind us all?
I fucking love Telesto. There you go.
He loves it. It breaks the game, but he loves it.
I love it. I love breaking things, Josh.
Wardcliff Coil is getting a new intrinsic effect, grants 1 stack of bolt charge to nearby allies for every 2 rockets fired, 4 stacks per trigger pull. I really like that. That's big. Colony increased detonation damage by 40%.
40%, jeez.
40%. Increased number of bots spawned by 1 for all enemy tiers except players. Player is 1, minor goes to 2, elite major goes to 3, champion, mini boss, and boss goes to 6. Colony is one of those like guilt-free guns that you use just to like fuck around. I like it. Yeah. Reduced shots to trigger a rocket with Quicksilver Storm by 17%. And then this is one I saw people talking about that they were really excited about. Legend of Acreus. Reduced spread angle by 33% and increased maximum projectile range from 12 to 18 meters. Kind of like this. If you want to get like really ballsy and bum rush a boss or a champ, this can actually still be really fun. It's still really niche, and nothing compares to when we were shooting Galran in the crotch with it, but it's pretty great.
It's true.
I still like Acrius. It's big, clunky, and it's so dumb. It's everything that an exotic should be. I still really like it.
It's a cool gun. I like it.
There's bolt charge behavior being added to Cloud Strike. Thunderlord, the last exotic we're gonna hit tonight. Thunderlord,
another favorite.
Yeah. Thunderlord will be great at building stacks and melee ability energy, but will also get an extra kick with a bolt charge lightning attack when paired with Storm's Keep. Added behavior to the Rain Havoc perk. Final blows of this weapon generate lightning strikes from above. Lightning strikes grant a stack of bolt charge, strong against overload champions. So this, with that new Titan aspect, is going to be bananas.
Yeah.
And I love it. I like... Thunderlord is one of those weapons that, like, we all meme on it, but it's really great specifically for, like, newer Guardians or Guardians that, like, maybe you don't have the time to grind out for, like, top DPS weapons to take into raids and dungeons. It's still a really good option for them. Yeah. So I'm excited to see this. I like Thunderlord getting some love. It's one of the classic Destiny exotics. Like, if I had to think of, like, 3 or 4 exotics that defined, especially Destiny 1, Thunderlord is up there.
Yeah.
So, and especially in the early years of D2, once they brought that in as the first LMG, or the first exotic LMG, I guess I should say, like that was actually part of the first Festival of the Lost that we had in this game.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say, like, that is, like, it is a classic Destiny weapon at this point. One of the most tired and true ones. Don't fix it if it ain't broken. But I like that a lot. Okay, there are a few weapon perks that are getting some changes. I don't think there's a whole lot really here to go with. There's a buff coming to destabilizing rounds, which I like. I already really like destabilizing rounds, but I like it even more now. Now grants volatile rounds for 2 seconds if any targets are hit by the volatile burst from the initial final blow. And then reduced internal cooldown from 4 seconds to 1.5 seconds. Go absolutely bananas with this bad boy. I certainly will be. It's going to pair real nice with that. That pulse that we talked about that has Withering Gaze. That's going to pair real nicely on that one. All right, we're almost at the end, Corey. We are legitimately at the end, I think. A couple new weapons that are coming. We already went over the Crucible, the Void Heavy Burst Pulse that we talked about. That's coming, but the Nightfalls are getting 2 weapons. One is a returning classic, the Palindrome Arc Adaptive Hand Cannon, coming within the first column. Closing time, Elemental Capacitor, Explosive Payload, Redacted, Outlaw, and To the Pain. And the fourth column, Magnificent Howl, Snapshot Sights, Master of Arms, Opening Shot, Desperate Measures, and Redacted. I am not the hand cannon guy, so I can't tell you what I like on this, really. Right off the bat, I mean, Explosive Payload and Outlaw, I like those. Snapshot Sight's always a favorite. I think Opening Shot, Magnificent Howl, those can be good ones. The one I'm really excited about, though, Corey, and it's all going to depend on what this redacted perk is. Lotus Eater. That's just such a badass name. Void Rocket Sidearm. Third column, Strategist, Feeding Frenzy, Well-Rounded, Shoot to Loot, Beacon Rounds, Reconstruction. Fourth column is One for All, High Ground, Reverberation, Frenzy, Adrenaline Junkie, and Redacted. Not putting Destabilizing and Repulsor Brace on this is a fucking choice. It is a fucking choice. It's one of the choices of all time. I will say, right off the bat, I do like Feeding Frenzy being on here. Not a fan of Shoot to Loot being on a Rocket Sidearm, but I like Feeding Frenzy here. I do still kind of like Beacon Rounds. I like Reconstruction. In that fourth column, I really like One for All. I One for All and Frenzy, Reverberation, those can all be good. I gotta see what that redacted perk is, though. The redacted perk is going to make or break this weapon for me. This may be one that, like, goes away and comes back with a better perk pool sometime next year. I actually really wonder how much outcry they've heard over this one. I've been largely off the Destiny train today, so I haven't seen a whole lot of reactions. Vanguard Ops is going to get a new Strand aggressive rocket launcher with reconstruction, envious arsenal, slice, demolitionist, field prep, tracking module, sympathetic arsenal, impulse, amplifier, ambitious assassin, clown cartridge, danger zone, overflow. This feels like it's way too many perks. And your second column is going to get chain reaction, explosive light, redacted, bipod, cluster bomb, quick draw, lasting impression, adrenaline junkie, reverb, desperate measures, high ground, hatchling. This feels like it's way too many perks. I feel like these are going to be toned down by half, so I'm not even going to say what I like on this right now. This has got to be. This feels like too many. Same with the Gambit Glaive that we're about to get into. Arc Glaive, Backfang. That's such a badass name. It just feels like all these feel like too many perks. Yeah, but Backfang has two new redacted perks on it. Impulse Amplifier, always a favorite of mine on Glaives. I like to shoot my Glaive. I'm a weirdo. I like Impulse Amplifier on Glaives. I like tilting at windmills. Shot Swap, I think, is good. Lead from Gold can be good. Volt Shot being on this supposedly is awesome. I like Volt Shot on this. I like Surrounded being on a Glaive. Unstoppable Force is always a favorite. Close to Melee is a favorite here. So yeah, interested to see how that goes.
Yeah.
This is your last chance to earn. Coming up, Nightfall Undercurrent. This will be the last chance you have to get Undercurrent on the 28th. Your last chance for Trials will be the week of the 28th to get the Prophet Stasis Scout Rifle and an Iron Banner. Right now, we have 10 days left of Iron Banner, I believe. No, we don't have 10 days of Iron Banner. I'm a liar. We have like 5 days of Iron Banner left. Holy shit, I forgot it was up last week. Reese Walker and Lethal Abundance are both about to go away. I really like Lethal Abundance, and I think Reese Walker is fine. But definitely I would go get a Lethal Abundance. And I believe that is going to do it for us on the I lied. Game to Give 2025 is going. There's some awesome emotes, emblems, a sparrow that you can get out of this. Really, really like that. You have the opportunity to get emblems from campaigns past. And if you raise $500 as a fundraiser in your campaign, you can get this awesome comic-themed emblem, which I think is really cool. And there are lifetime donations there for those who have donated a lot. There's one for $250, $777, and $1,500 for those. The other thing that I want to address here that is in the TWAB, I apologize for not addressing this on the show the last couple of weeks. The Los Angeles wildfires that have completely devastated the entire, the valley and into the hills and everything else. Like the fires are even getting into Santa Monica and Studio City. There is, of course, the Bungie Foundation is going to do something. The California Fire Foundation and Direct Relief are going to be funded by this fundraiser. They are launching a shirt and emblem bundle on Game to Give's campaign page, available for pre-order right now. I am ordering one myself. This is a really cool shirt showing the beach with the Traveler and the portal on it. And then the emblem also reflects the same thing. I will be doing this. Because it is a pre-order, we don't know the exact profit per order due to variable manufacturing costs. We are committing to making a minimum donation of $15 per order, split equally between two organizations. The bundle will be $50. That includes the shirt, emblem, and shipping worldwide. So
that's not terrible. It's not bad.
This will be available for pre-order through Sunday, February the 9th. I am 110. I will 110% be ordering one of these tonight. Again, we talk all the time about the Bungie Foundation charity going back, 20 something years, all the way back to fight the flood from Hurricane Katrina in 2005. So this is nothing new for Bungie. They've been doing this literally as of now for 20 years. We saw with the Australian wildfires. We knew this was going to happen at some point. I believe we did it for the Maui wildfires also. This is one area where I've seen some people go, $50. Like, well, yeah, when you consider the shirt, the fact that Bungie wants the shirt, the shipping was already going to cost you like $7 or $8 at least. And then the charitable donation on top of that, that comes out to about $50. Like I wouldn't bite at this for a normal shirt from Bungie, but it's going, and it is a small, tiny piece that we can do. I know that a few people in the community do Game to Give. I don't know exactly who is doing it this year. I know that that Oak, who has helped a lot of us with our Pantheon and raid and dungeon runs over the years, has helped a lot of us with activities the last couple of years, and as part of our community as a Sherpa, he participates in this. I would definitely contribute to his Game to Give. I believe that Ronnie has done it in the past as well. I'm not sure if he is doing it this year. I have not talked to him about it, but I know in the past Ronnie has done Game to Give also. And it's a great thing that I really wish I was more involved with. And I've sadly been pretty bad about getting involved. But this is a small gesture, and $50 goes a long way. Even if they're only going to make $15 to $20 dollars available as a charitable donation, that's something.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
that is going to do it for all of those tonight. God, this episode's already been an hour and a half long. Jesus, this has been our longest episode in a while.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about. I wanted to take a second to talk about the ending of this episode, though. I said last episode when I did it a couple weeks ago, Corey, you weren't here. You were having an awesome experience sitting damn near courtside for Cavs Raptors.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a great game too.
Yeah, I hate you. You never sent me a picture. I'm a little upset with you about it.
Sorry, Josh. I was
How
too
dare
busy.
you? How dare you?
I was too busy feeling Jarrett Allen's sweat.
Did you get to touch his fro?
No, unfortunately not.
I want to know if it was as soft as it looks, but I digress. I hadn't gotten through Kel's Fall, and I felt a little guilty about it when I came in and did it. I gotten through one run of it, and then realized you had to do 3 more, and you had to do all sorts of other stuff. Since then, I've completed the Catalyst quests for Slayer's Fang. I played around with the shoddy a little bit. I don't really want to give an impression of the gun because I'm not a huge shotgun user. I don't love that you get damaged from using it if you're too close to the target. That's some bullshit. Even though there is a lore explanation, and I get that. I get why it's there in the lore, but publicize that shit if you're going to do it. Don't just leave that for us to find out when we're using it. I think my biggest issue with the conclusion of the story is it feels really rushed. It doesn't feel like we really did anything. I mean, Fickrell dies because we basically give him a flu shot.
Right.
Just straight up. He pretty much dies from a flu shot. Nothing else really happens. And then all of a sudden, Nezarec is taking over. He's taking over Mithrax. And Aramis uses the Echo to stop it. And all of a sudden, we're done and we're kumbayaing together. And thank you, Aramis, kill. And blah, blah, blah. And everything's done. And
it happens in like 10 minutes.
It happened. It happens in about 35 seconds.
Yeah.
I kid you not. Mithrax shows up. You stab Fickrell with this thing. Mithrax shows up, demands the Echo from Aramis. Aramis says, no, you're not yourself, blah, blah, blah. Uses the Echo's power to heal Mithrax. And so apparently that's all we had to do to banish the spirit of Nezarec from him is just, be gone. It's fucking Gandalf with Grima Wormtongue in the Golden Hall of Metastal from Edoras. Like, Jesus Christ.
I know exactly what you're saying, Josh.
It's so bad. It's so fucking bad. And he's just like, thank you, Aramis. Blah, 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 blah. And then Aramis basically says, fuck y'all. I'm taking the Echo and I'm going back to Reese and rebuilding. I'm out. That certainly won't come back to bite us in the ass at some point. She's basically she like leaves a message for you like, fuck y'all. I'm so tired of you guys.
Right.
I'm so tired of all of you. I'm tired of the Vanguard. I'm tired of the Guardian. Ido is cool, but I'm tired of fucking everyone else around here. And like, I left my people behind, but I guess, that's the price I pay for taking the Echo and the Echo choosing me as its master. And it's like, this is all happening off screen and this is really stupid.
Right.
I don't understand how this is supposed to close the door on the Elixni for the Light and Dark saga. All this tells me is there is absolutely no way that we can fight them ever again as enemies in a new expansion. There's no fucking way. I'm sure they'll introduce some sect of them that never made it to Sol, and Aramis is with them now or something. I'm sure something stupid is going to happen. But this felt really happy. Like, it really felt like, oh, damn, the writers were writing this and then got fired. That's what this feels like.
Yep.
That's what this feels like. Even though I know this was written before, well, this was probably written between the 2 rounds of layoffs.
Mm-hmm.
The writers were also busy trying to save the final shape at that point, from what we know now. So I'm not sure what happened here, but this was bad. This was really poorly done. Pretty much the only thing of consequence that happens is in that final cutscene. We don't really get much else. Like, at the end of Act 2, they resurrected Skolas, which, by the way, that doesn't get referenced ever again unless you go and do the Kel's Vengeance run, which is hard as shit, by the way. I got my ass whooped in round 2 of that. I haven't finished it yet. I do plan on going in and finishing it, but man, trying to 2-man that was not the play. I got my ass handed to me in there as a hunter. So I was like, oh, well, this is set Skolas up to be the leader of the fall or the Scorn, and it doesn't. So apparently when you beat Skolas, you can like hear some laughter, and it's identical to the Nezarec laughter or something. And I think like Nezi continuing to persist is such an interesting thing, because that's a great concept that Nezarec is the one disciple that just keeps enduring, because Nezarec is the literal embodiment of nightmares.
Yeah.
And fear. I think that's actually really great that that's a concept we keep going back to, but he was so half-baked in his raid that we all think he's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
So, like, oh boy, Rolk took a bunch of steroids, got a big pickaxe, and is just chasing me. Yay.
Yeah. Right.
Fail to see why he's like the most trusted lieutenant of the Witness, but here we go. There's some theories out there that maybe he bonded with the Veil at some point, and that's why he permeates throughout the galaxy. And that's honestly a far more fascinating theory to me than whatever the fuck we've gotten with him.
Yeah.
But just, it made me so upset, because I used to look so forward to the seasonal stories, and to be clear, I'm still really hoping they pull something off with Heresy, but I'm having a really hard time seeing how you do that given how this is gone. And then at the same time, like, I really loved the Maya Sundaresh storyline in Echoes. I just didn't like the rest of Echoes. I didn't like the delivery method of the story was really bad there. And here, there's just no story.
Yeah. It seems like the ideas for the stories are good. They aren't fleshed out, and they haven't been delivered correctly. And that was Destiny 1's MO for a while, right? And that was like some of the others, like some of the seasonal stuff early on, right? Like I feel like we're back at that. Like, the ideas of the stories are good, you know? The idea of Maya Sundaresh is an awesome story, you know?
Mm-hmm.
This idea of Nezarec persisting and, you know, taking over Mithrax and like that's a cool idea for a story, but like,
and that was something that was there with the Nez T for forever. Yeah.
I don't know, Josh. It feels it's starting to feel like we're missing the people that were laid off, right? I mean, I don't want to take anything away from I don't want to take anything away from the people that are still there, but like it's happening.
Clear that the people who are there are focused forward on Frontiers, though, and like I get it. I get it, and this is part of why we're going from, you know, we went from 4 seasons to 3, and now we're going to 2, and fine. But this doesn't inspire a lot of confidence for seasonal storytelling going forward. Mm-hmm. How are you going to sustain a storyline for 6 months? You're not going to. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do anymore with this. I'm truly at a loss. I feel like there's so many cool things you could have done with Mithrax, and now it's just like, cool, kind of sitting in the corner. Like, he's technically Kel of Kells, I guess, but really it's more of Aramis at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Aramis, who is a genocidal maniac, by the way.
Yeah.
And was scared so shitless of the Witness, she was like, fuck this, I'm out of here. Went running and ended up just like bumming it back to Europa. That's all she did. She bummed it back to Europa.
Right.
So what did we really like? What was I want to know what threads are really being closed here. Like, okay, is the Nezi thread being closed? Because I don't feel like that's ever truly closed with the concept of nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
It's I mean, Mithrax's curse, sure, that's something that's been around for a few years now, since like Plunder, I think, when we recovered the Nezarec relics in the first place with the Nez tea. That's been something that's kind of been kicking around for like 2.5 years. Okay, we got rid of that. We knew that Bill was going to come due there eventually. You're going to tell me Saint 14 wasn't involved in this at all? You're going to tell me Saint wasn't involved in this storyline? Right. I understand that Saint can't be involved in all of them, but they tied him to so many plot lines. Him and Osiris were tied to so many of them, and I understand they just had center stage and Echoes. And it was cool, like, getting Varix back, but, like, what did Varix do? What does Spider ultimately do? Like, none of them really do anything here, unfortunately.
Right.
And it's massively frustrating to see this and be like, the return of Skolas was such a cool opportunity. And it feels wasted in Kel's
Yeah.
I think it would have been cool if Skolas hasn't suffered, I guess, the permanent final defeat that was prophesied or whatever, way back in the old lore. I need to find the exact passages, but Skolas feels like he's going to keep coming back, and like he's never really been a threat to us. Let's be honest, we've whooped his ass in the Prison of Elders twice and once in a campaign mission. We've beat his nightmare a couple of times. But Skolas, like, really, like, terrorizes the Reef more than he does us. Us, we just show up popping with whatever new shotgun we got that season. Not a joke, by the way. Whatever new exotic we got that season, pop him in the head with it, and then walk about our business. That's pretty much all we've ever done. Like, he has this great reputation in, like, the lore, but, man, we rag on Nezarec. I need to hear some Skolas slander from the lore nerds at some point.
Right.
It's time to... we are going to start a dialogue, as Charles Barkley would say. Shaq is booting Skolas out of the Big Man Alliance. That's all I'm saying. He's booting him out. The real villains, like Rolk and the Witness, are just over there rolling their eyes at this motherfucker.
Right.
Axis is just ashamed to be of the same race as him.
Right.
Like Oryx is just like, what the fuck, man? Like, seriously? Like, okay. You had to use mines and traps to fight these guys. You do realize we just fought them like one-on-one and like fucked with them for the most part, right? Like, they had to go through different dimensions to kill most of us. They showed up to your prison cell, popped you in the ass, and then went and collected loot.
Right.
Varix and that servitor watched it happen too.
Yeah.
It's so goofy.
Yeah, it's something, man.
Why did we need to cram Skolas into here? Like, I feel like if you had taken Fickroll down in Kel's Vengeance, that could have been really cool. Like, Kel's Fall was a cool idea for a mission, and it ultimately falls really flat. The idea behind getting the catalysts for the gun is really cool. That's one of the cooler things I've had to go do, and like use the sights to see where the things to shoot are. That's a cool idea to put those in the encounters. I like that. And you're doing it in Master, so it's a little more deadly. I did like that, but overall, just, man, this episode was not it for me, and that's a shame because I'm a big fan of Mithrax. I was really interested to see what the showdown with Fickroll would look like. Crow ultimately plays almost no part in this, sadly.
Right.
I'm very bummed. I'm really, really hoping that Heresy can bring this home, because I was underwhelmed with the story. I was underwhelmed with the activities, with the weapons. Mm-hmm. This whole episode I left feeling pretty bad about this.
Yeah.
I complained about Echoes, but Echoes had the Maya Sundaresh story. It had Choir of One. It had aberrant action. It had some really fun legendary weapons. Like, as much as I may complain about that, and like I rag on the Encore mission had some awesome secrets to do. This had the Scoragon, and that was like the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but if you're a music major, it's way more rewarding. So I just watched like 2 hours of videos on YouTube of people playing Through the Fire and the Flames on this. So, any closing thoughts on the episode as a whole, Corey? I'm going to save more of my thoughts when we get to the end of this year of Destiny content on the Road to Frontiers.
Yeah, I just
It's not great. This did not do it for me. I did not think it was possible to be worse than Echoes, and here we are.
Yeah, it's been It's been kind of rough, Josh.
For something that we love so much, the Prison of Elders, something that's so nostalgic for both of us, and it was just that bad.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
It's fine the first couple of rotations, and then you're like, oh my god, I'm expecting to do this for like weeks on end. This is rough.
Yeah, it was not the best.
It's not, and I want to emphasize that that's okay. I want to emphasize that it is okay for everything to not be incredible every single time.
Sure, but this is.
But when this is 4 months of content, it's bad. And then it spirals, and it's been like, oh, it's 8 months of lackluster content. Like, basically everything post Dual Destiny, with the exception of Vesper's Host, that's like kind of been a wet blanket.
Yeah.
It's a little rough. Like, we're relying on dungeons and raids to kind of save us. Thank God we have a dungeon coming up in a couple of weeks. And then, we're going back to the Dreadnought, which is another place that I really, really love. I really feel nostalgic about. Bring the Dreadnought back as a permanent destination, just saying. I feel really nostalgic for it. King's Fall, still one of my all-time favorite experiences. And then you look at the dungeon, and it's like, oh, we're going back to Rolk's Pyramid for whatever reason. Yeah, and if there's a cool story reason, then I'm here for it. But like, at what point does it stop? Like, we still haven't really done the Deepstone Crypt. Like, we went to a fucking space station instead, which, don't get me wrong, Vesper's Host is the best dungeon they've ever done. It's one of the best things they've done, period. It's up there with Last Wish, Salvation's Edge, and King's Fall. Like, it's up there in that pantheon as one of the greatest things they've ever done. But it's like, at a certain point, I need story reasons to keep coming back to this franchise. Like, yeah, I like the gunplay, but the gunplay only gets me so far. It's the story and the characters that I've fallen in love with over the years, and I just feel like they are being so marginalized right now in favor of, oh my god, we just got to have 1.5 million activities that all feel half-baked instead of a couple of really good activities.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to be really clear. I do not at all want to sit here and sound like I am shitting on the game.
Right.
It is in a really rough place right now. It is in a rough place, story-wise specifically.
Mm-hmm.
PvP, it seems like they might be fixing. We may be back with the story. I'm so tired of going on the up and down roller coaster of, we're so back, oh my god, it's never been more over. Like, I'm like kind of coming out of that gully right now. I can already feel the cycle starting again. I'm gonna see the footage for Heresy next week. I'm gonna get really excited. I'm gonna see the Frontiers reveal inevitably in a couple of weeks and get really, really excited. Or whatever, couple weeks, couple months, whatever.
Yeah.
If that supposedly is launching in June, I'm really concerned about it meeting that timeline.
Yeah, it seems kind of early, but
dubious
also
at best.
But also, you're going to leave this game empty for a year and a half. I don't know. I'm concerned, but also I'm concerned either way. I guess is the I want them to take their time and make Apollo and Behemoth the best they possibly can, but also like I don't want them to leave this game alone for too long because it's already losing the players, and like it's going to be that much harder to get them back, unless Apollo is like another final shape, which I don't see. No offense. That's just my opinion, I guess.
Yeah, there's certainly issues with this game that I think go deeper than that, and it's bleeding players. Let's just be really real. 20K active on Steam is pretty dire.
It's pretty low.
I've cautioned against overreacting before when it's been at like 35 or 40K. 18 to 20 is something I can't ignore.
Yeah,
that's pretty bad. And Steam's a lot of the user base these days. I know it's still popular on consoles, but like Xbox has been bleeding players, obviously. PS5, I mean, you still got plenty of options on PS5. I really think Helldivers did an absolute number on the PS5 community, and I think those people are kind of coming back. But if you have lackluster seasonal content, why would people come back? Like the dungeon is going to see a spike. You always see a spike around dungeons, around raids. Like, I'm sure that the numbers will spike a little bit for Apollo. They're going to fall right back off, though, if that content's not there. And I just don't know how you're going to sustain a 6-month cycle with a small expansion and one season. I don't know how you're going to sustain that and keep people engaged.
Right.
I'm interested to see how you try this. I know that they said, oh, yeah, 3 months in, we're going to do like an Into the Light style thing. But, like, man, if it's half-baked content, like...
more Onslaught maps, or not that that's like, I want to be clear, Onslaught's a great mode, but like it's getting real close to falling into like Battlegrounds territory for me, where we got too much too fast.
Yeah.
So like, why not just give me fucking strikes that tell a story?
Right.
I would like more strikes, please.
Yeah.
I don't know if the future isn't very bright at this point, and I'm going to be here till the lights fall off, until the lights get turned off. I'm going to be here as long as there's still content. I will still be playing it. I'll still be critiquing it. I'll still be giving my honest opinions. Like I had plenty that I was excited about today, but that only gets me so far. I am here because I love the story and I love the universe, and the reasons for that are kind of feel like they're slipping away. Like the Maya Sundaresh revelations in Encore were cool, but kind of everything else in Echo sucked. Pretty much everything here in Revenant has sucked, story-wise and character-wise and lore-wise, and I'm just, I don't know. And I think that's okay. After 10 years, we are going to be approaching year 11 when Apollo comes out.
Yep.
Year 11 of playing this game, creating content about this game. At a certain point, you move on. I don't know anyone, none of my friends who were playing World of Warcraft when it first came out when we were all in high school are still playing it. They all moved on, the last ones of them moved on like 6-7 years ago. And like now they're dabbling in WoW Classic, of course, but like everything runs its course at a certain point. And
right. I mean, you're seeing Final Fantasy 14 hit the same thing right now.
Final Fantasy 14 is kind of going through that. They kind of went through their own thing. Where like, oh, last year was kind of a down year for the expansion. It wasn't bad, but it like wasn't groundbreaking. And I'm interested to see what their next one looks like. See if that player base comes back up. But they also, actual MMOs deliver good seasonal content though consistently. And Destiny has never had that because traditional game developers and publishers with the mindset of a console don't want to commit to those resources. And there's no subscription fees, so you don't have the additional revenue to hire people and keep the cycle going. And at this point, it's way too late in Destiny's life cycle to do that.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what happens. Hey, I'm here for this though. I'm excited for Heresy. I am very ready to go back to the Dreadnought. Excited for a new dungeon. I want to see what this new heretical arsenal looks like. Like, hey, maybe that's one of the kicks in the pants that the game needs. I think like revitalizing PvP, great move. Should have happened like 2 years ago, but I like how the game's almost dead and we're doing it now. They waited till it's on life support in the ICU right now, and they're like, yes, this is what we need. We're giving it a blood transfusion.
Jeez, the ICU.
We're in the live service ICU right now, performing triage on this game, basically.
Oh my gosh!
Like we really are. I'm not even kidding. We really are.
I know, but it's just
we're basically Jason Statham in Crank. Like you just have to keep going with the adrenaline to keep the interest for the player base. That's basically what's happening here.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything else to say. I'm going to talk myself in a circle. I'm going to get increasingly more negative.
Yep.
But suffice it to say, despite everything I've said, I am still very excited about some of the things coming. So
yeah, no, I agree.
It's gonna be
I'm
fun.
excited. I'm excited to go back to the Dreadnought. I'm excited to see, the inevitable Frontier stuff. So,
yep.
But Josh, it's been fun.
It has been fun. I do still enjoy doing the show. I still enjoy playing the game despite all my bitching.
We do a lot of bitching. It's, but that's who we are. That's what you're here for.
Yeah.
You all signed up for this. But we're going to get out of here, Josh. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening to this episode of Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast. If you want to hear more of us, you can check out Xbox Casuals, the Xbox podcast. We broke down the developer direct on the most recent episode that you can hear today. Josh, thank you for your time as always. Where can we find you besides, not crying about the Mavs when they win?
No, nowhere. I'm genuinely pulled back on my socials so much.
Yeah, it's
I'm just if you want to chat, I'm in Discord. Join the Discord. I'm there, but that's about it.
Yeah, I'm kind of everything on my socials is pretty much automated unless I get like a DM from someone, but that's rare. So, but you can still follow me at I am Corian HD on socials. Leave us a review, all those things. Thank you so much for watching and or listening. And until next time, we love you. Goodbye.